The cottage, beautiful yet isolated amidst a rubber estate, seemed ideal for solitude. We usually rented a different place during our holidays, but this time, due to a last-minute plan, I had to settle for this one. It was available at a surprisingly low rate, which now made sense. Stories floated around about this place. My colleagues had warned me. A girl had been murdered here, and her spirit allegedly haunted the cottage. People claimed to have heard screams and even seen her ghost, bloodstained and desperate. I laughed it off back then. I wasn't someone who believed in such tales, but now, sitting alone in pitch black with just a candle, those stories didn't feel so funny anymore. I returned to the living room and sat beside the fireplace again. My shadow danced on the wall, unnaturally large and sinister. I peered out the window. The rain had turned into a heavy downpour, and the full moon peeked through the trees, giving the night an ominous glow. Trying to sleep, I laid down on the couch. But just past midnight, a loud screech jolted me awake. It wasn't the storm anymore. It was something else. I lit the candle again and crept to the window. Dogs were howling in the distance. Then came another scream-piercing human. My blood turned cold. Was I imagining it? No, it was real. Someone was screaming for help. I buried myself under a blanket, heart thundering, drenched in sweat. The screaming didn't stop. I forced myself to peek out again, and what I saw made me scream louder than ever before. A girl stood outside the window, soaked and bloody, staring at me. At that exact moment, the power returned, flooding the room with light, but it didn't ease my fear. I stood frozen, recalling the stories, the murdered girl, the haunted cottage. I had laughed at them once. Now they were real, desperate. I muttered prayers and sat under the table, hoping she wouldn't find me just like a child playing hide and seek. My logical brain had shut down completely. When fear consumes you, reason takes a backseat. Someone was banging. On the door, it was her, just like in the stories. I sat motionless for over an hour. The banging eventually stopped. Gathering courage, I turned on every light in the house and cautiously approached the door. I cracked it open, no one. I stepped outside. The storm had eased, but then I tripped. Lying on the porch was the girl, heart racing. I bent down, expecting her to vanish like a ghost, but no, she was real. It's flesh and blood, injured, breathing. I rushed her inside and splashed water on her face. She woke with a start, crying, begging me to save her. Between sobs, she told me everything. She had been kidnapped by a human trafficking ring. They forced children into begging and abused those who resisted. She had tried to escape and somehow made it to my cottage. The so-called ghost, the screams people heard in this house for years, had always been real. Cries for help mistaken for hauntings. Fear had silenced everyone, till now. Called the police immediately. They arrived around 4 a.m. and the girl bravely told them everything. The gang was arrested and several other children were rescued. The police praised me for my courage and told me an award would be recommended. But you and I know the truth. It wasn't courage that led me to her, it was fear. A night of terror that forced me to act. A night I'll never forget.